Will the Galaxy S22 Ultra model stole the thunder at the 2022 Samsung Unpacked event? It is the Galaxy S22 Plus that might actually be the more suitable big screen phone to buy for the average user. The Galaxy S22 Plus is missing some features from the Ultra model, but that is exactly what makes it special. If you don't use an S Pen regularly, you probably don't need it in your phone, and not having that means you get a phone that is significantly lighter and not as giant, so you can comfortably carry it in your pocket. So yes, the Galaxy S22 Plus is that golden middle ground, not too small and not too huge. It has a premium glass back, dissipates heat better than compact models, and battery life is far superior to a mini phone. And compared to last year's S21 Plus model, the new Galaxy does all of that in a more compact form factor too. However, after a bit of testing, it turns out that the Galaxy S22 Plus is pretty much on par with last year's Galaxy S21 Plus. The Gorilla Glass Victus and Armor aluminum sandwich that is the Galaxy S22 Plus definitely invokes callbacks to the iPhone 12 or 13, with its flat front and back plates and nearly flat side frame. The Galaxy S22 Plus feels extremely sturdy and solid, but admittedly it is nicer to look at than to use, as the sharp edges somewhat carve into your palm and don't necessarily provide the most comfortable and ergonomic usage experience. Still, credit where it's due. From a design perspective, the Galaxy S22 Plus is an impeccable phone made with premium materials that absolutely feels posh. Sadly, the ergonomics suffer a bit and are a far cry from the most pleasing Samsung phone to use. And if we talk Galaxy colors, you have 4 options to pick from: the traditional Phantom Black and Phantom White, and then a new pink gold as well as a classic green colorway. As for the rest of the design, the S22 Plus is quite similar to last year's S21 series, but that's a good thing. The camera that kind of blends with the frame is a unique touch that now other companies are copying. With the Plus you get a large and flat 6.5-inch screen that uses the latest dynamic AMOLED tech with a 1080p resolution. Most users will find this screen top-notch, no pun intended, but there is a few important things to keep in mind. We used to believe that the S22 Plus has a 10 to 120 Hz adaptive refresh rate. It was actually later revealed that the display refreshes at 48 to 120 Hz, just like on last year's Galaxy S21 Plus. Samsung clarified that the phone's GPU feeds data at 10 Hz, so that it could achieve power savings when static content is displayed on the screen, but this doesn't actually mean the display refreshes at 10 Hz. While Samsung advertises a maximum brightness of 1750 nits, it is virtually impossible to achieve such a brightness in everyday scenarios, and even in our laboratory tests. In terms of color reproduction and viewing angles, the Galaxy S22 Plus is definitely a winner. The color temperature of the display is a bit on the warmer side, clocking in at slightly lower than the ideal 6500 Kelvin reading that is associated with pure white, so the display looks a bit warmer than usual. For unlocking the phone, Samsung sticks with the familiar ultrasonic in-screen fingerprint reader. It is just as quick as the most recent fingerprint scanners found on Samsung's flagships. It's not very fast, but it's not terribly slow either, so we have a nice middle ground between security and ease of use. Additionally, you have support for face recognition using the front camera. This is not as secure as Face ID, but you also don't have a notch, and it still gets the job done, so we are glad to have this option on board. Samsung sticks with its old strategy of using different processors in the same Galaxy model sold in different markets. All Galaxy S22 models in the US get the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 chip, while the UK and Europe will have to make do with the Exynos 2200 chip. Our benchmarks with the Galaxy S22 Plus don't exactly inspire confidence. If anything, the phone with the new chipset is seemingly performing just slightly better than the Exynos 2100 powered Galaxy S21 Plus, which isn't exactly great to see. Disregarding the synthetic benchmarks, the real-life performance of the Galaxy S22 Plus is great for the most part, yet a far cry from the industry-leading Apple A15 Bionic chipset. The phone does get hot during gaming sessions, but I wouldn't say that it's uncomfortably hot. If anything, the thermal performance of the Galaxy S22 Plus didn't really bother me during long Minecraft sessions, but your mileage might vary depending on your specific usage. The S22 Plus has 8GB of RAM on board. If you look historically, you will notice how the S21 Plus also had 8GB of RAM, but the S20 Plus from 2020 came out with 12GB of RAM, so the series has actually seen a downgrade here. As for the storage, you are getting a 128GB base model, as well as a 256GB version for a slight premium. And we would recommend people taking more videos to definitely grab the 256GB model. Remember that the S22 Plus does not have a microSD card slot, so you cannot expand the storage. What you get is what you end up with. The Galaxy S22 ships with 3 cameras on the back, a main, an ultra-wide and a 3x zoom lens. Exactly the same setup as on the smaller Galaxy S22. What's missing, however, is a periscope zoom lens. And while we can forgive the compact S22 model for not including one, it seems like the now more expensive S22 Plus should get one. Still, that remains an exclusive feature for the S22 Ultra. The image quality from the Galaxy S22 Plus from the main camera is on par with the Galaxy S21 Plus, but surprisingly to me, much worse in certain situations and scenes. The main issue with the camera of the Galaxy S22 Plus and in extension the Galaxy S22 Ultra is the super aggressive over-sharpening that is applied to most photos. In some instances this over-sharpness isn't that obvious and takes a tamer approach, but in other situations, especially when using the telephoto camera in low light conditions, the over-sharpening is extremely noticeable and not at all desirable. In contrast, the Galaxy S21 Plus takes softer photos that still offer a decent amount of detail without going overboard with the excessive sharpening. The S22 Plus ships with a 4500 mAh battery, which is noticeably smaller compared to the 4800 mAh battery in the S21 Plus. That's nearly 6% reduction in size, and we do not expect this to also result in lower battery life. We should point out that last year's model lasted comfortably through longer days, but a full day of use is still easily achievable on the S22 Plus. We already have our independent battery test results for the S22 Plus, and it fared pretty well in scenarios where it can dynamically scale its refresh rate. On the charging side, the S22 Plus gets faster 45-watt charging, which is great news. There is no charger included in the box, as we expected, so you'd have to buy one separately, and keep in mind that Samsung's 45-watt charger comes with a thicker cable that you need to use in order to get the fastest speeds. Good news is that the price of the Galaxy S22 Plus is the same as last year at $1000 for the base model with 8GB of RAM and 128GB of storage, while $50 more will get you 256GB, and that seems like the optimal configuration that we would recommend. At the end of the day, the question remains, should you buy the Galaxy S22 Plus? Viewed in a vacuum, it's a great phone, a good camera with many hits but some misses as well, acceptable performance and great battery life. Still, there seems to be some issues with the camera performance that should get fixed so that the phone can unleash its full potential, and that's my biggest gripe with this phone. But that's pretty much it. If you want to learn more about the S22 Plus, check out PhoneArena.com. Thanks for watching, subscribe to stay in touch. See you next time.